I've been working in this tutorial library to create my own local resource for specific to my topic that I'm working on here. Um, but I have this giant library, which is where I keep everything, and that's the library that I sync up to cyberspace to make sure that I can take from place to place. So if I come up to my window here, I can switch over to my reference library and note that I've got 15,000 references in it since we last looked. And what I'd like to do is I would like to add the references that I've found on currently working on health coaching. I would like to add those to the reference library and then sync that library up to the cloud. If I try to sync this library to my email address, it will end up going ahead and merging those citations, and I don't want to merge them. I want to keep the tutorial library separate because the 15,000 citations can be a little bit unwieldy to work with. So I will go ahead and click on the top reference. It doesn't matter what order I'm in here, but the top reference on my list, and I'll scroll on down and capture all down through the bottom. So now I've highlighted 1400. If you look in the bottom left hand corner, 1484 out of 1484, and I'll right click, and I want to not add references. I'm not creating a custom group, but I want to copy references to my home reference library. So hopefully nothing will explode when I do this, but I'll copy the references, and this will take a couple seconds to execute. And once I've done that, my next task will be going over and eliminating duplicates, because I know that some of these I have in the library already. Some of this is more specific in terms of my current topic. So you can keep separate libraries, keep separate groups within your library. It's a matter of preference, and that's what makes it a nice flexible program. So I'll come on over here to the reference library itself, and now I've got 17,000 references I copied in my 1400. So my next task, my 1484 actually are unfiled. So what I'll do is I'm going to make a group of these, and I will call these. So I've got 24 health coaching references. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and make a little subgroup here. And I will make a subgroup of health coaching, and I'll go ahead and put that in any field. Now I'm going to go ahead and select or, also in any field, and I'm only going to search out of my unfiled group. I'm going to say health coach, and I'll add in one more or here, or any field says coach, because I don't have any sports coach in this section. So I'm selecting this out of just the unfiled references. I'll click on OK, and now I've got 312. So I only had 24 references before. I've got 312. Super exciting. So I'll come on down, highlight all of them, and I will right click and I'll add references to my health coaching group. Now we've done this before with the groups. Now I've got 11,000 references. So what's left? I am guessing these are going to be hypertension references. So I'll say hypertension or high blood pressure. Let's see what happens. And out of my unfiled, let me search in here. See what happens. Yep, so 11,054. So maybe the health education ones are the ones that are left over. But this is any field contains hypertension or high blood pressure. Highlight everybody, right click, and add references to. This is high blood pressure, so I want cardiovascular disease. I'll go ahead and say health outcomes, but I think I'm going to need to make a cardiovascular disease folder for myself at some point. But we'll just throw them in health outcomes for now. My aim is to file everybody here. So now I've got community, culturally appropriate health education, self-management education, school-based education. Aha, this is the health education group. So I will say education and see who turns up. 18 out of the unfiled 18. We'll highlight everybody. And this is health education. So, I'll go ahead and add these into health coaching also, just because I can tease them out later. Separate out my little group. But, oh, you know what? Let me just actually create a custom group. and I'll call this Health Education. So right click, do I name my group? Yeah, new group, here we go. Come down to my new group, and I want to rename my group, and I will call it Health Education. There we go. Okay, so at least now they're separate. I won't dump them into the coaching file. All right, so now that I don't have any more unfiled references, this is good news. I want to eliminate duplicates. We've done this before. We can do it again. So in my all references, I will find duplicates. And I've got 46 here. I'll go ahead and cancel out. Let's X out of this window. Look at what I have highlighted. Right click. Very important, right click. And I will move these references to trash. I'm going to keep an eye on Carmona up there at the top and make sure that Carmona Terras maintains its position in my library. There we go. So I had 46 divided by 2 is 23 duplicate references. So I will now, I don't think I need to save my library here, but what I can do at this point is I can delete the group of duplicated references. So there we go. I can empty the trash, because who wants to save your trash, right? And, oh, where did that go? There we go. And I can delete the group of search results. And I also can delete the group that was the copied references. And, oh, let's keep an eye on this and see what happens. 17039. There we go. I still have 170. Okay, so that was just a sort window. Okay, terrific. So my library is still intact. That's good news. My next thing is to come over to the tutorial library, and I'm going to close this. Just click on anything and close it, because what I want to do next is sync my library, and now I have one library open. So I will come over into my tools to sync the library, and this should sync based upon the parameters that I set forth previously. And so if you haven't set up a method to sync your library or synchronize your library, then you will need to plug in your email address and insert a password. But you'll see down here in the bottom right hand corner it says sending update, and there are a lot of updates because I have a pretty big library, so we won't sit here and watch this. But it will take some time. It won't let you close. It'll yell at you if you try and close your library during the sync process. So now you can see the little green bar is moving. It will send updates for things that I've added into my cloud-based version, and then it will download any reference materials, their references that I would have put in a library if I use it someplace else. So one nice thing to think about doing every time you end a session is once you've set up your sync, you can sync your desktop library and your online library and then synchronize it to other devices. So when you open the next time on a different device, it will synchronize the library before it lets you use it.